Now, this isn't just a conference. We created it because we felt it was important to have a place where advertisers, agencies, and the newspaper industry could come together. And I don't think there's been a better time to have a shift.
I thought I'd talk briefly about the drama of the EU referendum. It is a fantastically rich Shakespearean drama being played out in front of our eyes. Newspapers, to some extent, shape the way these supposedly mighty leaders think.
Steve Richards opened with a wonderful political analysis, and in that, I think he also drilled to the heart of the importance of news brands.
It's beyond dispute that newspapers continue to drive that national conversation in as much as they decide what stories are, and broadcasters then tend to jump to their tune, and it tends to be the printed media that is responsible for setting the terms of the debate.
I think the main session for me was listening to Tony Gallagher talking about his vision and the direction the Sun is going on.
I thought he was completely engaging and spoke about where news brands are at the minute really well and completely honestly.
I'm incredibly confident about the future of news brands in Britain. I think media agencies forget just how powerful our newspapers actually are. We've got the best newspapers in the whole of the world. We've got the best digital news platforms in the whole of the world. And I think media agencies and creative agencies have a huge duty of care to our newspaper industry.
Well, I think ad blocking is a really important thing for our industry. Some people call it an existential threat. I don't know if I'd go so far as saying that, but it's certainly something that whether you're a news brand or an agency or an advertiser, we have to get our heads around.
The truth is that ad blocking is really a bunch of profiteers that are holding our industry to ransom.
So the question is, why didn't we see this coming? Or rather, why didn't we see it not coming? Simple. We fixated on the technology and we forgot about the human.
Ad blocking will not be allowed to kill journalism because journalism is frankly too important to us culturally and economically, and we all have a part to play in making sure that it survives.
Newsworks and IB will continue to work closely together to make sure we create better ad experiences, deliver better value for consumers and also for brands.
Marketers are from Mars, consumers are from New Jersey. One is an uninhabitable, desolate wasteland, and the other one is a planet.
I really enjoyed Bob Hoffman, the ad contrarian. I think he had some really interesting things to say. I think his talk was a bit of a wake-up call, a reminder.
How we marketers think and how consumers think couldn't be more different. Consumers want simplicity and clarity. Marketers want to complicate the shit out of everything.
I really loved the Waitrose case study this morning and how news brands and Waitrose have a really close relationship. Print is still, for Waitrose, the most effective medium at delivering sales back to the business.
If we create a consistent handwriting, one that comes from a brand like Waitrose, we're able to tell different stories at any one time and engage consumers with very different messages.
Well, today at Shift, I was very, very pleased to launch the new measurement service that's coming next year called AMP.
The great thing about AMP is that it is a digital service designed for a digital world, a real measurement of how people are actually consuming in the 21st century.
I think it's going to be transformative for the market and will truly allow us to showcase the breadth and depth of publishing and really unlock its value.
I think my key takeout is probably what Katharine Viner's been saying, actually, about the continued influence of newspapers.
I feel that there has been a move back towards brands that people trust to verify. There's so much misleading stuff that actually I think now people have come back to the idea of someone to filter through and find out what's true. There's a kind of dark ages of false information, everything flying, and I think people come to news brands that they trust.
There is an enduring and ongoing positive conversation around news brands because, in my view, a lot of the conversation, not necessarily in this forum, but outside of this forum, can be too negative. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in that narrative. So for me, this is just bringing me and everyone in the room back to this positive side of print and news brands.
The Shift conferences have set a very high standard in that they've all been good, but I think this one was the best so far.
Speakers are absolutely outstanding, and I feel in a very quick couple of hours I've really got a sort of sense of the debate and the discussion that's going on in the industry in these times of immense change when things are moving really fast. So every time I come I learn new things, and I'm very, very energised by actually how news brands are responding to the new landscape in which they're operating.
It's been a fantastic day. We've had 400 people at the British Library, we've had 2 of the most senior editors in the country, we've had sessions on the most important commercial issues that our industry is facing. So we've covered a very broad cross-section, but I think we've managed to capture the feeling about the industry, which is that we're actually going through a major transition from the world that we know to the world that we don't yet know. And I think when you look at the world that we don't yet know, there are lots of exciting innovations coming through, and essentially it was a very upbeat message.